All right. Uh, been sitting in this position for a little too long. This is the Godfather of Harlem. This is episode 8. Now, let me see where I wanted to go with this. Uh, Bumpy's coming back from the hospital after being shot. Um, he got his granddaughter, who's really his daughter, a little soap opera-ish. That's a word. That's a word now. He got his daughter, who's really his granddaughter, eavesdropping on phone conversations, not understanding what's going on. Of course, being afraid, but I like the fact that they wrote it in that she would be afraid for herself more than her father or mother. You've got some historical events tied into this episode with the Million Man March and Martin Luther King's speech, which I'm surprised they didn't even put like a sliver of it inside this episode. I guess they chose to omit it, or there may be some copyrights surrounding it. I'll look it up for my own, for myself after I get done making this video. Should have did it before I did the video, but now I'm curious if that speech is copyrighted. It could be, couldn't be. I don't know. Something tied to where money's involved. Ooh, they had the appearance of an M14. It's a very, very good battle rifle. Which is odd that... No, I don't think it's odd that they would have it, because this takes place in the early 60s, and I think that rifle was created in the late 50s, like right after Korea. So anyway, it makes sense because they've already painted one of Bumpy's enforcers as a Korean War veteran who earned a Silver Star, I think, in the Army. So that's pretty good. What else happens in this episode? Oh, well, I guess I'll talk about this first. So the congressman and the Malcolm X character have teamed up in a way to go to Washington and just be seen basically while this Million Man March is going on. And this so happens the motel they're staying at is also occupied by some, I guess would they be considered neo-Nazis, or I don't know what that term means, but they're not the political party Nazis, and they're not like Nazis from World War II. They're like American-bred Nazis, or whatever the case may be. But it was funny. They seemed so out of place, even though the two characters were walking in where they were already, where they had already established themselves as being there. And as soon as I saw that khaki-colored shirt with the with like that piece of leather going around, I'm like, oh, those guys are Nazis. Automatically. Because coincidentally, I've just got done listening to 2 audiobooks, which is something I thought didn't exist, but of course it had to exist. It's just limited accessibility to it. First-hand accounts from one was, first-hand account from 2 soldiers that served in the Eastern Front in Europe. Basically, they were the Nazi soldiers who were fighting the Russians. So I got to listen to those audiobooks, and just coincidentally, Nazis pop up in this episode. That's just a personal coincidence, I guess, if anything. But anyway, that whole scene just seemed out of place and weird. And he winds up, the congressman winds up, he makes a statement saying, "I wish I could punch you in the mouth," or something like that. And then cut to a couple scenes later, he gives him a stiff punch to his abdomen, which was a pretty nice punch too. And it was funny how the two sides got into these fighting stances. It was really funny because I know Malcolm had 2 members of the. He had 2 members. I'm assuming the Fruit of Islam. Now those guys, interesting enough, they studied judo and karate, so they got into kind of a karate stance, I guess. And the Nazi gentleman got into like a turn of the century, old timey type boxing stuff where their fists are turned around and stuff like that. But there's all type of connections through the fighting, just thousands of years of humans more than thousands of years of human beings learning how to manipulate other human beings' bodies and throw an effective, devastating punch and things of that nature. Going off on a tangent, if you can tell. So back to the show. Let's see here. The lovebirds, right? Finally, the lovebirds, they have succumbed to outside influences. I mean, they've been going strong through a lot. I mean, death threats and kidnappings and all type of stuff. And finally, the young lady gives up. She succumbs to the young man's mother. She starts just outright telling him how much of a struggle it's going to be for them to even be together. And you have to remember, well, me as a viewer, I have to remember that this is taking place in like the height of segregation in America. And it doesn't matter if she's Italian, German, it doesn't matter. She's a white girl and that's a black boy. They don't mix, especially, well, I shouldn't say especially, but at that time, to be transported back from 2020, where I think civilization and a whole, at least in America, I can't speak for other countries, at least in America, we have so many freedoms, and to be transported back into that time where, everything's segregated and just there's a unshaking or unflinching amount of hate surrounding individuals solely based on the color of their skin. It's just to be transported back in that time is, I would probably be in shock. Anyway, where was I going with this? I don't know. I got lost. Oh yeah, she succumbs to what the mother's saying, the young man, and she decides to end the relationship. It's so abrupt. It seems out of place. I mean, they've been rocking with each other tough for how many episodes, and then all of a sudden she has one sit down conversation with him. But I'm assuming they've had conversations in the past, but for some reason this particular conversation shakes her to the core, and she's like, "No, I'm done for real this time." And it's like, what? Come on, that struck me the wrong way. I wanted those two lovebirds to be together for the entirety of the series, but I guess can't always have what you want. Well, not guessing, it's true. You can't always have what you want. But anyway, I feel like I'm rambling, aren't I? Let's see here. What else happens in this episode? Bumpy's daughter, the older one, who's now a devout Muslim. A situation arises now where his wife, Bumpy's wife, is talking about, you almost died. We need to make a will. Kind of weird, do you think? I don't know, kind of weird, but makes sense, but it's kind of weird. So you need to make a will, you almost died, you didn't have a will, everybody needs to, basically she's pretty much concerned about money. That's what it looks like. So the question arises, hey, I know that you've taken in the little girl from your daughter, your granddaughter, but it's not official. So when it comes to will, things need to be clear cut and legally backed. And he's trying to obtain adoption rights or something or other for the little girl, and his daughter's like, I can't do that. And she's getting a chance to spend time with her daughter. Just wrong timing, basically. I think the wrong timing. She's already sacrificed enough by telling a lie that she's her big sister, and then you compound that with the fact that she almost lost her father, and then you add some more that, hey, well, we need you to give her up legally. It's like just the wrong timing. What else happened in this episode? Chin, Bumpy Johnson's like arch rival. His one of his one of his foot soldiers, I guess he'd be considered. He's stepping up in a big way. I mean, he's caught a guy and he's taking care of business left and right. I mean, I hope beyond all hopes. Well, I shouldn't say that. I just wait and see what happens. I just wait and see what happens. But uh, I don't know. I wouldn't call this an interesting episode. I don't know. Maybe I just can't read it today. I have to see what happens in the next episode to make an opinion for this episode. No, but it's not that good to me. I don't think this episode was that good. Maybe it's gonna play some part down the line. I don't know yet. But if you like me rambling and watching my fan in the background missing the missing parts and pieces, I swear I'll get it together sometime. I don't know. Homeownership has been fun, but taxing at the same time. Anyway, if you like me ranting and raving about TV shows, I've got Breaking Bad, the complete series. I've got The Mandalorian, which I don't like. I've watched Chernobyl. I've got The Wire. I've got, of course, The Godfather, Harlem, and I've got some movies as well. Go check those videos out and subscribe.